Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Kayla Gio.
And I'm Carmela Williams. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news this week, the world is reacting to the continued threat of ISIS. Secretary of State John Kerry is overseas building a coalition to fight ISIS militants.
This is part of the president's plan to dismantle the terror group who have taken over parts of Iraq and Syria. CNN's Mary Maloney has our story.
In Paris, a fragile coalition appears to be taking shape against ISIS. So far, about 40 nations have agreed to take on at least a limited role in the fight against the militant group. Among them is France, which has begun surveillance flights over Iraq.
This terrorist movement pretends founding a state. Such as the threat, it is a global one, and there must be a global response.
But perhaps even more telling are the Middle East countries who have expressed a willingness to get involved as ISIS runs rampant across Syria and Iraq. The threat posed by ISIS is so unprecedented that it's not at all certain anyone knows how to deal with it.
We can transfer weapons, we can train, but we cannot really transfer political will. And at the heart of any war is the need for those governments on the ground to have political will to resist.
Secretary of State John Kerry insists this is not a rush to war. One military analyst agrees it's something totally different.
This is us trying to get other countries to fight the war for us. We're willing to provide the air power, we're willing to provide the logistics, the intelligence, even some funding, but we want other people to send their troops.
The urgency to do something was greatly ramped up over the weekend when ISIS beheaded a third Westerner, British aid worker David Haynes. ISIS is believed to be holding several other prisoners from the U.S. and other countries. In Atlanta, I'm Mary Maloney, reporting.
At least 29 people are still missing after a ferry sank off the coast of the central Philippines on Saturday. Officials say the boat was carrying 84 people, including 26 crew members, when it lost control of steering due to large waves and strong currents. 55 survivors were rescued less than 2 hours later. Rescue operations are currently underway. Citizens and tourists on Mexico's Baja Peninsula are recovering from a rough night of torrential weather brought on by Hurricane Odile. The Category 3 storm made landfall Sunday night near Cabo San Lucas. Other than broken windows and light flooding, little is known about the damage because many communication channels are reportedly down. An estimated 15,000 tourists were stranded in the storm's path.
Japan is taking major steps to increase the number of women in the workforce. Critics say millions of educated Japanese women are not working due to a corporate culture that traditionally favors men. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says if this continues, the stagnant economy will dip even lower. He and his wife are calling for women to make up 30% of the leadership role by the 2020 Olympics. Switching to national news, Bill and Hillary Clinton visited Iowa Sunday, and that sparked more than questions about if and when the former Secretary of State is going to make a run for president. The Clintons attended an event for Democrat Tom Harkin before headlining the retiring senator's final annual steak fry. The fundraiser and feast has a long reputation of launching presidential campaigns.
It is true, I am thinking about it. But for today, that is not why I'm here. I'm here for the steak.
This is Miss Clinton's first trip back to the battleground state since 2008 when she ran for president. Political analysis says it's a good indicator that she has presidential aspirations for 2016.
A man in Tennessee is now facing a murder charge after taking out the trash. Police say his garbage bag ripped, revealing a human head inside. According to police documents, a witness called police Saturday night despite pleas from 36-year-old Michael Wilson Jr. not to call. Officers who arrived at the Memphis, Tennessee home discovered the rest of the body inside. Neighbors were shocked by the discovery.
It's scary. It's awful. It makes me sick to my stomach. I told my mom, we need to move out of here.
Wilson is charged with abuse of corpse and second-degree murder. He's being held on a $2 million bond. Police are still working to identify the body. Another gruesome story comes out of Riverside, California. Police say a woman was in the parking lot of this Walmart store Saturday when she smelled something odd in her car. They say she opened the trunk to find a man's body inside. According to witnesses, the woman said it was her former neighbor. Officers think the man may have died in Pomona, where the woman is from, but she is not a suspect in the case. With domestic violence cases spreading through the NFL, some football fans are calling for Commissioner Roger Goodell to step down.
This is after the league enacted tougher punishments for domestic violence and 3 accused players sat out during games on Sunday. Reporter Nichelle Turner has our story.
Multiple reports this morning saying Ray Rice is expected to appeal his indefinite suspension from the NFL after a video surfaced of him punching his then-fiancée unconscious in an Atlantic City casino elevator. Both ESPN and ProFootballTalk.com cite sources saying he'll file the appeal. However, the Players Association tells CNN that an appeal decision has not been made, saying, quote, "We don't know yet if or when our filing will come." This weekend, Rice was spotted on the sidelines of his high school's football game, his wife Janae by his side. It's the first time they've been to a public event since the video of the attack surfaced. 2 other NFL players also seeing disciplinary action on Sunday. Adrian Peterson, star running back for the Minnesota Vikings, deactivated after he was indicted on felony child abuse charges for whipping his 4-year-old son repeatedly with a switch.
Obviously, parents are entitled to discipline their children as they see fit, except for when that discipline exceeds what the community would say is reasonable.
His attorney says Peterson never intended to harm his son, saying Adrian is a loving father who used his judgment as a parent to discipline his son. ESPN's Chris Carter, in an emotional pregame rant, says the Vikings did the right thing.
You can't beat a kid to make them do what they want to do.
That's correct.
We in a climate right now, I don't care what it is. Take them off the dang on field. Because you know what? As a man, that's the only thing we really respect. We don't respect no women. We don't respect no kids. The only thing Roger and them do, take them off the field, because they respect that.
Some fans came out in support, wearing Peterson jerseys.
You know what? It's his personal life. I care about what he does on the field. That's all I care about. He didn't do anything bad. He just disciplined his kid in a way that, you know, most people don't even know what a switch is.
Also absent from the field Sunday, Carolina Panthers defensive end Greg Hardy, who was found guilty in July by a judge of beating up and threatening to kill his girlfriend. He's now appealing that ruling.
The decision was made that we believe that this was in the best interest of the Carolina Panthers. This is a very difficult situation that the league is dealing with right now. Teams are dealing with this, and we're doing the best we can.
A troubling time for NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell as calls for him to resign grow louder. Planes with the banners reading, "Goodell must go," flying over several stadiums on Sunday.
The Minnesota Vikings announced Monday Adrian Peterson is expected to play this weekend. The NFL is continuing to review the incident under the league's personal conduct policy.
Some residents in Maine got to see a rare sight in the sky over the weekend.
If you're looking at the view of the Northern Lights, a spectator snapped this image Friday night at Acadia National Park. Normally, the colorful light show isn't seen that far south, but last week's massive solar flare caused the lights to be seen along the northern border of the U.S.
Einstein Brothers Bagels has been open for over a week on campus. Coming up, see what students have to say about the new dining option.
Also, avoiding debt by avoiding plastic. More college-age students do not have credit cards, but hear why some experts say it could make things tougher for you later in life. Those stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns. Campus headlines this week. Monday night marks an annual tradition for Greek life here at Montevallo, Sorority Bid Day.
Affectionately known as Squill Day, many students, both Greek and non-Greek, attend the event. After a weekend of mixers with the 5 chapters, 107 women will run to their new sisters from Palmer Hall. Bid Day and recruitment were delayed 1 week out of respect for the Sisters of Delta Gamma after the loss of Sister Rachel Pijot. Constitution Day will take place this Wednesday, September 17th at 3:30 p.m. The first of a 4-part PBS documentary will be shown in Comer Auditorium. It will be taking a look at whether or not the Constitution can keep up with modern-day America. SGA will also be hosting voter registration outside the CAF at 11 a.m. that morning. Check your form email for more information.
This marks the second full week that Einstein's Bagels has been open on campus. The new restaurant is expanding its hours to 7 p.m. Falcon Weekly's Lucas Burns hit the bricks to see what people are saying about the eatery.
It's really good. I like it. It's different, and they have a lot of fresher options than like Moe's normally does, so that's a nice change.
Everyone said it was good, so I wanted to give it a try. It looks pretty good.
I think it's going to be successful. We're still trying to get our name out there. We're still kind of new to people. We've only been here a little less than 2 weeks and still have people coming in every day telling us they didn't know we were here. But bagels are popular, muffins are popular, and coffee's real popular, so I think it's going to do really well.
I've used most of my flex points here.
Have you tried Einstein's yet? If you have, tell us your opinions on our Facebook page or Twitter page. Simply search for Falcon Weekly. Do you have a credit card in your wallet? A new report shows that fewer college-age students are paying with plastic.
And another report shows that few new graduates are thinking about retirement as they start out their new careers.
Two separate surveys of financial habits find moves by millennials could hurt their bottom line down the line. An analysis of retirement savings by Fidelity found 1 in 4 workers overall left money on the table by leaving a job before they were vested. 37% of millennials forfeited employer contributions to their 401k on their way out the door, compared to 11% for baby boomers, mostly because those younger workers tend to job hop. Another survey from Bankrate.com found more than 6 out of 10 millennials don't have a credit card. Some taking advantage of debit cards, some simply worried about debt they already have.
This is a generation that grew up in a place where the economy wasn't doing so hot, they were looking for a job and not the best job market, and they have tons of student loan debt, and they're just really reluctant to take on any further debts that could contribute to their financial woes later on.
Even though avoiding debt now is a responsible financial move, avoiding credit could hurt later.
On an individual level, millennials could be making it a lot harder on themselves to get financing later on. I mean, to get credit, you need to build credit. A credit card is a great way to do that. It's a fast way to do that.
A solid credit history can help when it's time to apply for a car loan, a mortgage, even insurance policies. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kafa.
We want to hear what you have to say about this story. Go to our Facebook page and tell us why you do or don't have a credit card.
The iPhone 6 sells out. See which version of the new phone has already sold out. Plus, we take a look at the safety of Apple Pay.
And get ready for some football in the Magic City. Find out which team will soon call Birmingham home. We'll be right back. In this week's tech update, the iPhone 6 went on sale Friday morning and it has already broken records.
Apple says it has taken a whopping 4 million pre-orders for the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. The Plus model has already sold out. Some customers say they couldn't even access the website, and others say they encountered long delays. The iPhone 6 will be available in stores Friday, September 19th. Apple wants you to use your phone or your watch to pay when you are shopping. The tech company unveiled Apple's Big Pay during its big announcement last week. It sounds cool, but is it safe?
Since when is your wallet getting thinner a good thing? Welcome to the future, brought to you by Apple.
It is so cool!
The new iPhone 6 has something called Apple Pay, which lets you store and use your credit cards just by scanning your phone. The technology that sends your payment from your phone to the register is called NFC. It stands for Near Field Communication. And it's basically an antenna inside your phone that delivers short encrypted radio waves with your payment data. And it's been around for a while. It's used on Google Wallet, PayPal, and a few other services. But is it safe? Well, it turns out that it's a lot safer than the credit cards we use today. And it's much harder to steal data with NFC. For one thing, your phone doesn't give up your credit card number. It actually creates a one-time use code that gets approved by the bank for every transaction. And that CVV code in the back of your credit card, that changes with every transaction too. So, even if hackers manage to hack their way into a store and grab this payment data, it's useless to them, because each code can only be used once. Plus, even if someone steals your phone, you can actually wipe all the credit cards off of it remotely. You can't do that with a wallet. If you lose the wallet, you have to call the bank with each and every card to cancel that card. So, while it may be difficult for celebrities like Kate Upton and Jennifer Lawrence to put trust in Apple right now, as it turns out, Apple Pay and NFC are much safer ways to pay than plastic.
Most of us will admit that we're attached to our smartphones, but our smartphones could be preventing us from getting a good night's sleep. A new report from Business Insider shows the more you use your phone before falling asleep, the more likely you are to damage your sleep cycle. Experts say that artificial blue light at night is harmful to your circadian rhythms because it reduces the body's ability to produce melatonin, which is a sleep hormone that helps you actually fall asleep. Turning to stories making headlines across Alabama, today marks 51 years since the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing.
The deaths of Denise McNair, Addie Mae Collins, Carol Robertson, and Cynthia Wesley were a significant moment in Birmingham's civil rights movement. The church had a special service Monday morning at 9 a.m. to honor the victims and their families. Afterwards, at 10:22 a.m., at the exact time of the bombing, church bells rang around the city, followed by a moment of silence. A local pastor is now facing criminal charges following the sexual abuse of a 16-year-old girl. 55-year-old Glenn Van Zant served as lead minister at the Palisades Family Church of Christ in Hoover. He has been charged with second-degree rape and sodomy. Authorities say the crimes happened over several months. Van Zant was arrested late Thursday night and formally charged on Friday. His bond is set at $60,000. The North American Football League has named Birmingham as one of the 8 cities to be involved in the league's inaugural season. The team is called Birmingham Freedom, with the colors red, dark blue, and medium blue. Officials say the team name and colors represent the city's historic past. The preseason is expected to start April 15th, with the regular season beginning in May.
Athletic teams are in full swing.
Falcon Weekly's Dion Thrift joins us with a look ahead to sports.
Hey guys, UM's volleyball team is on a hot streak, and we catch up with men's and women's soccer. Sports is next. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. I'm Dion Thrift with a look at this week's sports. The University of Montevallo volleyball team came up big this weekend with a sweep against Georgia College, Mars Hill, and Erskine. The Falcons won all 3 games with an identical score of 3-1. The sweep improves the Falcons' record to 5-4 with a 1-0 conference record. The Falcons will return to action this Friday against St. Aslan College in New Hampshire. UM's men's soccer team also had a busy weekend. The Falcons started their weekend with a win over Eckerd. After going into double overtime, Montevallo prevailed with a 3-2 win after Sergio Gonzalez scored the winning goal. They had another overtime thriller Sunday night against Tampa, with the game ending in a tie. The men's soccer team now has 2 wins, 1 loss, and a tie. The Falcons will be back in action this Saturday against UNC Pembroke. Meanwhile, the UM's women's soccer game was set last Friday was canceled because of weather concerns. That game will not be rescheduled. The University of Alabama was in action this weekend against Southern Miss. Quarterback Blake Sims started off with a 22-yard pass to Amari Cooper for a touchdown. Early on in the game, Sims finished with 168 passing yards and 2 total touchdowns. Running back Kendon Drake led the Tide with 3 rushing touchdowns and 59 yards on the ground. The Crimson Tide won their game 52-12 and will be back in action this Saturday against the Florida Gators at 2:30 on CBS. The Auburn Tigers spent this past weekend resting during their bye week. They will be back in action this Thursday in a top 25 battle against Kansas State at 6:30 on ESPN. The AP poll has been released, and Florida State stays at number 1 after their week off. Alabama sits number 3 after their win, and Auburn stays at number 5 after their bye week. And that's a look at this week's sports.
Thanks, Dion. Imagine if you could build a car yourself to your exact specifications instantly.
With the push of a button, entrepreneurs took a major step towards making that a reality this weekend in Chicago. This is the Stratty, and inventors say it is the world's first 3D printed electric vehicle. Stratty's creators said it took 44 hours to build the car, and it used fewer than 50 parts. It can only get up to about 40 miles an hour, and the battery lasts only 120 miles between charges. But you can buy one as early as next year for about $18,000. That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thanks so much for joining us.
For more UM news, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. We'll see you again next week.